What's up, guys? This is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. Hope this video finds you doing well. I made six figures for the first time in the Medicare business when I was 25 years old. Today I'm 28. And I wanted to talk with you. We're in the heart of open enrollment. We're in the heart of AEP. And I just wanted to talk with you guys about something to maybe think about once December 7th comes and goes, when AEP is completely over and completed with. And that is, are you adding to your skill set in what I would call the off season? The off season could be interpreted a lot of different ways depending on who I'm talking to. It could be just the month of December, and then maybe January 1st you're going back at it heavy. It could, the off season in your mind could be until next AEP. I mean, it just kind of depends on who you are. I personally look at the Medicare business as a year-round selling business. I personally do not believe that it is just a 7 or 8 week selling season. For the whole year. I think you should be working year round to kind of grow your book of business, and I think you can definitely do that and write a ton of business during the off season. So it kind of just depends. Of course, you have more time outside of AEP than during AEP typically to do this kind of thing, but I wanted to talk about what are you doing in the off season, whatever your off season might be, to grow your skill set as an agent, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as someone that's chasing whatever goals you might have. Before I get into this, though, I need to talk with you guys about our sponsor on this video, and that's Lead Heroes. Lead Heroes is one of my favorite companies. They do the best telemarketing leads that I personally have encountered in the industry, whether you're looking for Medicare supplement leads, final expense leads, whether you're looking for turning 65 leads. They can even do custom calling campaigns where you can pay by the hour for one of their trained telemarketers, and they can basically just make calls and try to get you preset appointments or get you leads, whatever. It's custom. You can kind of design it at your pace, if you will. Not only that, Lead Heroes does a great job in terms of giving you tools and training for free a lot of the time that can kind of help you get the most out of your leads. A lot of people don't know this, but Glenn Shelton, who owns and operates Lead Heroes, who's a good friend of mine, he was a final expense and a Medicare supplement agent for a lot of years, and he was very successful at it. So he knows what it takes to build a book of business and make a lot of money as an insurance agent. We use Lead Heroes all the time. We've used them throughout all of AEP, and so we practice what we preach. Just for watching this video today, if you go down into the description of this video, there's a link to the Lead Heroes site along with a coupon code listed right below it that you can use at checkout to get 10% off whatever it is that you order just for watching this video here today. I encourage you to give them a shot, this AEP, if you haven't already. It's not too late to kind of get some spark, to kind of get that production up even more than maybe you already have. All right, guys, let's get into this. So I think of it like this. I personally believe, and there's been people in my life that might be peers of mine that have kind of like criticized me for looking at this way, but I've never met anybody that criticizes me on this point that's more successful than me. That's just a fact, right? And I find that a lot of successful people kind of share this trait, and that's that you can look at people from different industries and different, lines of life that have had success, maybe that have nothing to do with insurance or Medicare, and you can kind of take from them in terms of like something you could apply to your business and your goals that can kind of help you. And in this scenario, I'm going to take from professional athletes. Right? I'm a big sports fan. I love NBA basketball. I really, really enjoy it, and I have, since I was a teenager. I'm a hardcore Lakers fan. Go Lakers. Even though I live in Utah, I'm not really much of a Jazz fan. I mean, maybe someday I'll convert and come around. I don't know, but I'm just a Lakers fan. I loved the Lakers when I was a kid growing up. I loved Kobe Bryant was my favorite athlete. And one thing you can take from professional athletes, and let's just specifically talk about basketball players for a second here, is the great basketball players. If you know anything about sports, and if you're not a sports fan, stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm not just getting into sports nerdabilia on you, if that's even a word. But the great basketball players are always working in the off season, right? So they'll go through the regular season, 82 games typically. They'll go through the playoffs, which is a certain amount of time. And depending on how far they go, then they have the off season, which is typically the summer before the next season starts, training camp. They'll put time in the off season in working on their craft, working on what they do. And it's not just trying to get better at what they're already good at. Sure, there's some of that, but it's also, working on areas that they're weak in and adding to what they bring to the table. So like an example is, let's use LeBron James for an example, right? Like when LeBron James first came into the NBA, when he was such a young kid, I mean, he was just, super hyper athletic. He could play like a guard, if you will, and he could just attack the basket and finish over defenders, around defenders. He was fast, he was big, he was strong, and he had a lot of natural gifts like his ability to pass the ball and bring, just do a lot of different things. But he was never a great shooter. He wasn't really great at posting up and playing a post game. He didn't have much of a mid-range game, really. I mean, very inconsistent. And, LeBron would have been a Hall of Famer if he just kept his skill sets that he came into the NBA with as an 18-year-old, right? His ability to do everything on the floor and attack the basket was like, unprecedented, right? At his size, to do the kind of things that was just God-given ability, right? He would have been able to, be a great player, have a lot of success, have a great career, but the fact of the matter is people talk about him today as, maybe potentially being right up there with Michael Jordan. Personally, I say Michael Jordan is the best basketball player ever, but I think LeBron is number 2. But there's certainly people out there that make a strong argument that LeBron is the best player ever, and that's neither here or there. But my point is, if you look at a guy like LeBron, who's, always changing things in his game, right? Like he worked on developing a post game. Now he's got really good a post game to his arsenal. If you look at how he plays today, he can, he's a lot more of a consistent shooter from long range and from mid range and all that stuff. I mean, he's more filled out his game. He developed more of a complete game. When he first came into the league, he wasn't looked at as a great defensive player. In his heyday, he really, worked on that part of his game. You can look at Michael Jordan, same kind of thing, right? He worked on things during the offseason. He always tried to come back with a new thing in his arsenal. You should be doing that as an agent. Whatever it is that you're not strong in, like maybe you think that you want to get down some, digital marketing, like, right, being able to run Facebook ads, YouTube ads, whatever it is that you LinkedIn ads, whatever it is that you want to kind of add to what you're doing in your business. It's not to say that you need to stop doing what you're doing that's made you successful. Like maybe you've done a lot of direct mail and that direct mail has worked out really well for you. That's fine. You can keep doing that. But what the great people in our industry do that I've noticed is they're going to add new things to the equation. They're not going to take away from what they're already doing, but they're going to add something to the equation that can kind of diversify their business. Athletes do it in their game. Football players do it. Baseball players do it. Basketball players do it. You should do it as an agent. When I first came into the business, my primary focus was I wanted to get really, really good at cold calling, and I did that. I was really, really good at cold calling. I got really, really good at working leads, knocking on doors, direct mail leads, hustling, grinding, pounding the pavement. I got really good at that. Then I started getting good at content marketing and putting out information on my experiences and my knowledge about Medicare for beneficiaries and also for you guys. And that added a new layer to my business. And I was really bad at it at the beginning. I was doing all my podcasts on audio only. I didn't even know how to shoot video. I probably didn't even learn how to shoot video until I was 80 plus episodes in to my podcast. And I've gotten a lot better at what I do over the years, and it's turned into a real strong point. Something that was a weak point for me is now a strong point because I worked at it in the off season. I didn't just not work and abandon everything that I was doing. I added it over time to the equation. Same thing with Facebook ads. I really didn't know what I was doing for Facebook ads for probably the first 10 to 11 months that I was running them. I remember I ran Facebook ads in 2019 during AEP. I think I spent $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that in a 2-month period on Facebook ads, and I think I got a total of 1 or 2 leads. It was bad. I was just butchering it, but I didn't give up on it. And I just kept tinkering with it. And now, I have campaigns sometimes where I'll get leads for $8 to $10 a lead, and it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes I pay a little more, but I know that I can design a Facebook ad and I can get consistent lead flow, and I can also get people calling our office that have interest. It's turned into more of a strength for me. The great ones always find new things that they can do to get an advantage on the competition and add it to what they're doing. And that's what you should be doing. I mean, there's a lot of agents, and a lot of you guys might know of people like this, or you might be one of these people. I'm not trying to hate on you, but you might know an agent that, has been in the business for 25, 30 years, and they've maybe built their business on, television commercials or direct mail or events or anything like that. And that's what they do, and that's what they're good at, and they just buckle down on that, and they never do anything other than that. And they might have 1,000 clients, they might have 2,000 clients, and not that that's anything to sneeze at. That's a fantastic life and a fantastic living that person has. But because they never went outside of that comfort zone to add new things to their approach and to add new things to their strategy to building their business, it might have kept them from being at 20,000 clients instead of being at 2 or 3, right? I mean, they're very successful, really, really fantastic agency and client base they built. But if they were thinking about, all right, I'm really great at this, now it's time to get good at this. This is where the market's going. This is where the trends are going. It might have helped them build much larger if that was their ambition to do so. The great ones always add to what they're weak on. So I encourage you, once AEP is over, throughout December, look yourself in the mirror, be like, all right, what is it that I know could help my business that I'm weak on, and spend some time and study it, work on it, read books, take courses, watch videos. I watched a movie the other day called Nightcrawler. It's a gruesome movie, right? It's a movie about this guy that just cut your throat off, right, to get ahead of you, and he was trying to, get into this business where, he is, recording like gruesome accidents and things going on and murders and stuff and selling them to the news. But he was just completely cutthroat. And one thing he says in the movie that I think is very true, and he's a total creep and kind of a monster, so I'm not saying you should try to be like this guy, but I think there's one thing he said in the movie that reigns true if you've seen the movie. He says, and I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, he says, if you look hard enough for something, you can find it. You can find about just about anything if you're looking hard enough for it. I think that's what he says, and that's true. So if digital marketing is something you want to add to your business, now's the time after December 7th comes and goes, right? Things slow down. Your office probably slows down. Take some time and get some education going and learn how to equivalent that into your business. And it doesn't have to be digital or anything like that. It could be just something that you want to add to your business that you think can help you be more productive next year than you were this year. And that's the goal, coming back better after the off season than you were before. That's what great professional athletes do, and that's what great business people in general, but also insurance agency owners do as well. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was one I was really excited to make for you. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, comment on what you'd like to see on future videos, and subscribe for future six-figure Medicare agent content. And I hope your enrollment period is going great, and I hope you finish out strong. Take care.